Hey everyone, it's Lisa here, and it is Wild Wednesday. And I first of all wanted to acknowledge the fact that I've been absent for two Wild Wednesdays because we've had lots of projects going on in the house, like putting in a new pellet stove and then repainting the entire kitchen, which I did all by myself. But I'm back. And if I'm honest, I must say that I've probably been putting this off a bit because my subject today is one that is a challenge for me. And it'll be interesting to see if it's a challenge for you. So, this is a continuation of our last two Wild Wednesdays. And I called them the 3Ds. And I'll give a quick review for those of you that may have missed the first two D's, which stand for don't. And our example, which will work for all 3Ds, is if you are driving in traffic and somebody cuts you off, your first reaction is usually to get angry. And you act on the first of the three don'ts, which is you assume you know why they're doing what they're doing. So our first D is don't assume, because in reality, you don't know why they cut you off. They might be trying to get to the hospital because they just found out their child was in an accident. And the second thing that you do in the same situation is you probably judge them and label them as a jerk, for example, because they cut you off. And as in the example I just gave, you don't know why they did what they did. You assumed you knew. And in fact, they might be a loving parent trying to get to their child and not a jerk. Or maybe they're behaving like a jerk in that moment, but they're not a jerk, and you labeled them as a jerk. And today is the third of the 3Ds, which is, for me personally, probably the most difficult. And that is, don't take it personally. Because they didn't really cut you off. They didn't do it on purpose because they don't like you or they think you might be a jerk. They just cut you off for whatever reason. And in that moment, you have the choice to make it all about you and get angry and ruin the rest of your own day. Or you can just not take it personally. And if it's not directed at you, you have no reason to be angry. And this works great with somebody you don't know. But it's very difficult with your partner or your wife or your husband or your kids. I acknowledge that. And that is the challenge for all of us, I think. To, in the moment that our partner says something, maybe it feels like it really is directed at us and it really is personal, we have a choice in that moment to react, which will probably make us respond angrily, or instead we can intercept that first reaction, stop for a minute, and move to our prefrontal cortex instead of our reaction area of the brain, and ask ourselves, what made them say this? How are they suffering? Because when somebody is angry with you, or it feels like it's with you, they are usually suffering in some way. They're upset about something. And if we can take a minute and step back and ask the question, what is making them suffer? We might actually respond with some compassion. And we could say something like, I can see that you're really upset. What can I do? And we can also take an honest look at our own behavior and see if we didn't say something that might have triggered them. And that's what I wanted to leave you with today. The idea of not just reacting, but instead taking a minute to really not take it personally, and then just see what happens. And you may find that a situation will simply resolve itself if you don't take it personally. So please, as always, let me know in the comments below how it goes for you giving this a shot. I'd love to hear from you. And I will see you again next Wild Wednesday. Ciao for now.